Welcome back, good people. Welcome back to Four Titles, One Truth. It's your boy Tommy.
And I'm Lance. And today we're talking about mental health in the Black community. Specifically, why it seems so hard for Black men to ask for help, even when we know we need it.
Yeah, now first off, we know we're not doctors, we're not therapists. We're just two Black men who've worn the uniform, carried the weight, and been told to just keep pushing, no matter what.
Yep. So today we're taking the armor off and talking honestly about how we were raised, what we've experienced, and what needs to change if more Black men are gonna make it through.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go. So, growing up, how did your community, when I say community, I'm talking like your church, school, your family, of course, did they or how did they teach you about mental health?
I don't think it was anything that was specifically brought in. I mean, I think when if you did see somebody that now we would say, oh man, they probably need to seek help, or
Right.
It was that openly somebody out in the streets yelling and screaming or talking crazy, talking crazy, where they'd be like, oh, that joker is crazy, he crazy, or he on something, or he doing some drugs or something. So it wasn't anything, or I can't remember, especially when I was a kid, anything where it was like programs or hey, if you're feeling a certain way, you need to, you can come in and talk to talk to this person. Now, the church was probably the closest thing, and that's just because if people were having marital problems or something, you want to go in and you speak to the priest or you speak to the pastor, but nothing as far as like what you see now, and if you go in and get actual help for any problems.
Help,
yeah.
So let me ask you this: you were a wrestler, so you're wrestling, you get hurt, right, and nobody believes it's serious. Like, say for instance, your carpet burn, or like you tweak something, but you don't tear it. What's the coach saying to you back then?
Shake it off.
Exactly.
Rub it off. Let's go. What is it? Is it broken?
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So, yeah. And so it's the same for me, because we're literally in the same period. His birthday's, unfortunately, I'm 6 days older than him.
Old.
But,
old ass.
Hey, look at us real close. That's all I'm saying. No, just joking. It was the same way. It was the same way with me, meaning there was no outlet because it was not identified as a problem. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and I'll just take it even deeper, right? There's family secrets that Black people have. And yes, I'm talking about my family, and I'll let everybody else talk about theirs. But when you had a uncle, cousin, friend of the family that was off a little bit, they were either off or crazy. All right, and that was whatever connection we had to mental health. That's what that was.
Yep.
And just like you playing sport, I was trying out for 7th grade basketball, and we were doing tryouts in the gym. But instead of going the long ways on the court, we went the two sides, the shorter courts. And in my junior high school, we had they had concrete and bleachers there, wooden bleachers in the concrete.
Oh.
So the steps were and levels were concrete, but the seating were benches that were tacked into the concrete, so it wasn't moving anywhere. That's the
it
point.
wasn't going nowhere.
So I was trying out, and when you're young like that, you're just giving your all because you don't think you can get hurt anyway. And I was going in for a layup and got fouled and pushed beyond the rim. And I ended up hitting my shin on the concrete.
Oh.
And it left a dent in my shin. Didn't break, but it left a dent to where you could pour water in it. And
dude,
all anybody did was like, hey, it's not broken. There was no doctors that came to look at me. There was nothing. And eventually the next day it bloop popped back out. Yeah, but I never went to the ER. I never went to the, you know, and I'm not doing this to slander anybody. You know, I'm just saying
it's just how it was. That just was sign of the time.
Yeah, and the only time you went to the emergency room is when people would look at it and be like, ooh.
If it was if it was bleeding, if you knew that, it's like, oh, you need some stitches.
Yeah. Like, ooh, that's crooked. Why is your arm shaped like that or something like that? But
put some ice on it.
Yeah. And it was so bad that I remember telling the younger kids in my neighborhood, be a man, don't cry. When we'd be out playing somewhere like football or something, and we hit the little kids a little too hard, and I'm talking, they were little kids, but they were like 2 years younger than us, and we was kids anyway. So they're playing with us, and we'd hit them, and they'd start crying, or something would happen, and the first thing out of our mouths were, be a man, men don't cry.
Being a little punk.
Yeah, and that was a word thrown around a lot, punk. So it was just something that we picked up, and I'm not saying that this is the all black part, because I'm sure, or not sure, but I know when people tell you to be a man, that ain't just that's
the whole machismo.
But if you get
male.
deeper into it, like you said, the person who's walking around arguing with dogs, because we used to have somebody like that.
Even because that brought back something when I just listened to your stories. Like I remember having family members who I had no idea that they had a mental health issue till I was an adult and something had happened. Then it was like, what? How did, understanding more. I was like, they had that all their life.
Did they bring it up? It just was never talked about.
I never knew about it growing up as a kid or as a teenager. This was after I was adult, been in my profession for a few years, where it was like, I would think back to the interactions I would have with that family member and be like, I never would have. I never would have known. Then because then you understand about people taking the medications and things like that. But so it's it can be a hidden thing. Yeah. It's something. Hey, so
just real quick, but that's the difference. That's the difference that I believe, and it's only coming from one perspective as a black person, right? But I know that my whole life stuff has been hidden in our, I'm talking about generations of stuff has been hidden, like a gay family member, right? Never talked about. Talking a crazy, who's considered crazy uncle, right? And it's not explained, like, what are we talking about? And come to find, like you said, when you grow up, come to find out it's a mental break, and just think about, you're hiding this stuff. You're not really talking about it. So it's not shared down, like you said, through the generations. And so you have no idea what's going on with those family members or friends. And it's just labeled as crazy, or it's just not even talked about.
Or to be able to know the signs of, some of those things that are going on. Hey, let me ask you this. Why do you think black men are half as likely to seek counseling as white men? What barriers or beliefs stand in our way?
I think I always believe this, man, that you do what you see. You know what I'm saying? You're more open to things in life when you are around things in life, and like I was saying before, not only is it not talked about, but how do you think that family member feels when people can't acknowledge their hurt, their pain, their suffering, and say we're talking about a gay family member. They're struggling because nobody in their family's talking about it. and acknowledging in it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know how to help them, or you don't know what. I mean, it's just like them. Or anything, how to support them, knowing that this is how I need to support them, so that they can get through this, or just being able just to bring it up and talk about it.
Yeah. And I'll just say that I think we can go all the way back to Africa, right? Black men specifically have a honor attached to them, and any weakness shown, right, is a nick, is a better word, in the armor. So putting on that brave face and pushing forward when things inside of you are going wrong, that's part of it. And then let's be honest, you're forced to get on a ship. And while you're on that ship, if you tell anybody that something's wrong with you, you could be thrown over the side of the ship. So not only are you being stressed and being forced to move thousands and thousands of miles away from your home without you wanting to do it, like I said, forced, but now you're in this environment on a ship, on the ocean, and if you show weakness of crazy or mental crazy, meaning mental issues or physical issues that the person in charge at that time doesn't think is can be fixed, or could think that it'll spread, then if you don't keep your mouth shut, like you said, you're thrown over.
Well, then the anxiety, depression, and you set it up right there, like starting from Africa on the ship, and then when they're here, then what are we here?
Slaves.
We're a commodity.
Yeah,
we're property. True. So what do you do with damaged property?
If you lose your value, you get.
So people were already being separated from their families at that time. Like, who wants to, after you get your family together, or you build your family, then you're not trying to see it get taken away because somebody was depressed or somebody had some anxiety, or somebody had some tendencies
or injury.
So man, that's a I think then that just carries on to where we're like, we don't talk about it.
100%.
Don't talk about it.
Exactly, and that because it breaks, that puts a chink in that armor, and then we, as black people, were forced to believe that a chink in the armor is weakness, meaning you're not up to par with everybody else, meaning you won't be the baby steps and lengths that we've gained over the years. You feel like you give some of that back because you're not formidable.
Right. Because they already were putting in the minds of folks that they were less than. So then if they have this problem that a whole lot of people have, whole lot of people in society have some of these problems, in one way or another.
And you're already less than human in their mind. And then I'll just put this on top of it. And I don't know if a lot of people understand this, but you come over on the ship, right? And then you're sold off. Okay, so say it's me and you, we got selected and sold off to a plantation, right? And say you meet a slave woman over there, you all fall for each other, and you end up having kids, and I do the same thing, right? And we end up having kids. So now, say, just like we're a husband, wife, and a boy son and a daughter son. Do y'all think that family gets to live the rest of their life on that one plantation? That's not the way it usually goes, because what happens is, if that master at the time didn't have the money and the assets to maintain a growing family, then they would sell the kids off, or say their neighbor really needed a strong housewoman, right? Or a field man. Then they would sell whoever. So the families didn't stay together. And so throw on top of, we're talking about the stuff hiding, you're hiding the fact that you're pregnant. You're scared that your baby's going to be taken away from you, or you're going to be shipped away. So it's a lot that's going on, and the history behind it that makes it not only more prevalent, right, in black people, but also it's another thing that you're trying to hide from people so that you're not seen as less.
Yeah. But I mean, I think also that it's harder for black men to find therapists. Yeah. Because you want to find the other black therapists to try to talk. You know, you think like minds and trust and stuff, and cost. Yeah. Because it's not cheap sometimes. Yeah. You know, especially to find a good therapist. Yeah.
Because my own path on therapy is like, the first time I talked to a therapist, honestly, was when I was a drill sergeant, or when I went to be a drill sergeant, because you had to get mentally evaluated. Before I went to have that conversation, I was told by previous drill sergeants to say, hey, be careful what you say, because if you say the wrong thing, then you won't be qualified. You'll be disqualified as a drill sergeant. So that meeting, the first time I ever met with a therapist, I was a staff sergeant in the United States Army with roughly about 6-7 years in, right? No, I take that back. I was a staff sergeant with about 6-7 years in, because I was promotable, and then I went on the trail. I was a full blown where I put a pinned on the rank. But my first experience with a therapist was, be careful what you say, because it could disqualify you.
And then you're not going to tell them anything.
No. So. And then the first time I talked to a therapist and made a decision to just open up, I was a sergeant major in the Army. And
right, I mean, that's probably like my experience. Because it was just like, you just get that attitude, or you get that in your mind where it's like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah. I'll just wait. I'll deal with it.
Yeah, it's weakness. Yeah. You know, that's how you see, even if it's bothering you. So like when I finally sat down and had that conversation as a sergeant major, it actually felt good. And it felt like I could be honest and have it. And have these sessions and feel confident about it. But the next time I went back to have a meeting, before I got there, I got a call from my therapist saying they're no longer going to be my therapist because they're changing jobs. So now you got to. So now you got to
tell the same story. Tell the same story to somebody else, then hope that you get the same feeling that you had with.
And you feel, and that happens after so many times, you get back into that hole
where you just don't talk to anybody. Yeah. Yep.
All right. So, what was the moment you realized your mental armor was cracking, but you still wrestled with getting help?
It's probably after I came back from deployment. Because deployment that's something. You know, you have your episodes there, but when I came back here,
your first deployment or just period?
The first deployment. Okay. Yeah, that first deployment. We came back here, and just simple things, you know, where you just are short with folks. Things that would not have bothered me as much prior to. Right. Just would set me to go, to 100.
On 10.
Yeah, I mean, it'd take me from 1 to 100, not even 10, 1 to 100, just because just ridiculous, just ridiculous stuff. And that's where I was like, man, I can't.
This is something.
Yeah, I can't be like this, can't be like this. And when you start feeling agitated or, at stuff at home.
Yeah.
That's where it's like, okay, I can't be. Why am I arguing about something stupid, about a dish or a rake sitting in the garage? Just something stupid. And that was probably the first time that I called like I think it was on the phone. What's the name of those folks? Yeah.
Okay.
What was it? USA. It was a free thing that we could call and do that didn't go back to our records or any of that stuff like that, because that was still at the time where it's like you didn't want
put that out there.
Anything like that to go into any records anybody know about, because you didn't want it to mess with any of your promotions or be looked at negatively on a job selection or any of those things. So it was just trying to talk to somebody, but I mean it helped a little bit just because we got to say something, but it wasn't, I don't feel like it was real
change.
Real change or any because it wasn't any follow-up to what to closure. It was just I could have went and talked to the tree in the backyard and it would have been got the same therapeutic effect to it, but it wasn't until I was in 06 06 with when I had about 4 years in already, that it was like, man, you know what? And it was like, I'm about to retire. I need to talk to somebody, make sure that I don't have some other stuff going on so that I know how to navigate this when I'm not wearing this uniform. I'm not in this environment. And it was great, because it made me go back and think about things growing up to being here and it wasn't bad. It was just like help me understand that's the way some of the stuff was, and I can change that now. That doesn't have to be like that, or it's okay to express your emotions and let somebody know how you're feeling, or
to help yourself.
That you can't do and it helped me, because then I was able to help my my soldiers and because I was in charge of airmen too. Hey, how you doing? What's going? It made me more sensitive
towards them,
to that. To those things, and to when folks were having problems, to be like, hey, instead of just putting a hammer down on it right away, I was like, hey, come here, what's going on? What's going on? Do you need to speak with somebody? Hey, are you seeing somebody now? So it helped me to be more aware and sensitive to those things, because because our generation is different than the generations coming up, and I had to understand. I mean, that was a change too that I had to understand, because they're a lot more. And it's not a ding on the younger folks. They're a lot more sensitive.
A little more aware.
A lot more sensitive, a lot more aware of their feelings and things that are going on in us. And we have to get older people. We have to get.
You have to evolve.
Yeah,
man.
We have to get better at that, so that we can help and understand. Because otherwise, you're gonna be fighting. I mean, it's just a big fight and a big
mess.
Big bowl of mess. Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the same. You just imagine if your great-great-grandfather raised you. How big of a difference would that be? You know what I'm saying? You'd be like, what in the world? And he'd look at you like, you weak boy, you weak. And that's the same way we looking at these kids, our grandkids. We're like, I don't have any grandkids, but I
don't have any either.
Yeah. But it's just, we're looking at the grandkids or the kids of the younger generation. We're like, these kids are weak. You were weak too, compared to, but I'm going to tell you. So for me, the first time I noticed a chink, I was a drill sergeant, and I was, I keep telling you how I used to be so focused that I was forget other stuff or not pay attention to other stuff.
You prioritize other things more than...
Which is horribly wrong to do. You have to somehow try to figure out how you can keep a grasp on everything instead of dialing into one thing. But anyway, one day it was, I think it was my first year on the trail, and it was just a rough week. You know what I'm saying? A lot getting to it, learning the job and trying to coordinate everything and just get in that flow. it's not something that can just happen overnight, because that drill sergeant world it's a different beast.
It's different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I came home one night. It was late. It was like 8 or 9 o'clock, and I pull up to the house and the apartment, and the power's off. Yeah, man.
You about to blow up?
Oh man, yeah, man. I'm gonna tell you the honest truth, man. So I'm sitting there, and I walk in because I'm like, well, maybe the light on the doorbell went out or something. I walk in, hit the switches, nothing. And then I sit in there, and I'm just like, so I go back out to my truck. I'm sitting in my truck, and I'm just like, and all of a sudden, man, I just start crying, man. Yeah, I'm sitting in my truck just crying. And I'm just sitting there like, couldn't stop myself. You know, I'm just sitting there like my world's freaking crashing. You know, it's just all this stuff. I remember a couple years earlier, my dad passed away. And so I just broke down, man. And I'm just sitting there like, I had to cry myself back to myself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there and I'm just
sometimes you got to get it out.
Oh
get it out
gosh,
so you feel better.
So it was probably about 15 minutes. I'm just sitting there like, you know, just uncontrollably, man. And I'm just like, what is happening, man? And I'm like, you know, because I always considered myself strong, and I always considered myself a man, you know, stuff that I've tricked myself into believing I was that since I was a kid. I'm a man. But that was the first time where I was like, wait a minute, where is this coming from? You know, and you know, I'm not making excuses, but drill sergeant, you're exhausted. Drill sergeant, your focus is those privates and the mission, and you're on them 24/7. And if you don't have the ability to manage everything in your life, you can get caught slipping. And
stress and anxiety is a thing.
Ooh. And so after that happened, I started managing my money and bills better, but I ain't seek no help. And think about it. I broke down in my truck in front of an apartment that was blackout. But I didn't even consider thinking that I needed to go see help because of the way I was raised in life, as a black man, as a man, as a son, and as a soldier.
Well, I was about to say,
never an option
in your in your work environment. And when I say work environment, I'm talking about military for all of us that were in the military, not in the military. But that's not something that was.
No,
that wasn't something that was a first option or something that your commanders or anything like that brought.
There was nobody. Nobody in my past had mentioned anything about calling a therapist, seeing a therapist. Because even on TV and even on the movies, seeing a therapist was because you were crazy, not because you were had a breakdown moment. You know what I'm saying? So, and then at the same time, what if it was an option that was given to me, right? Then it could affect my career. You know, especially at that time, because the taboo that we talked about before we started, mental health was a taboo for so long and still is. But it's still, I never picked up the phone because it was never an option. All right. And not just an option that's ever been presented to me. It wasn't even an option I even considered because I didn't even know it was there to push that button, you know, so that's how crazy it was. And it's sad because therapy, especially consistent therapy, can help make you a better person.
Yep.
Help make you a better man. Can help make you better at your job. Can help make you better at your family.
All of it.
You know what I'm saying? And so think about all of the people that have lived before us, right, who didn't have that as an option, and no wonder people died early.
I mean, they were doing what we were doing for so much, just burying it, and until it just comes to a point where
Yeah.
It starts messing with your health.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it boils up to, gets to that extent where it starts messing with your health and you start getting ailments and things like that, where it's like, why am I
That's what I'm
walking
saying.
around
And
like
those are
this?
and think about it. Those are the consequences, right? Your health, ending your marriage, affecting your relationship with your children, making you. Some people are suicidal, making some people homicidal.
Yeah.
You know, and that's happening now with therapy as
Yes.
an option.
Yeah.
And I think. Just one more thing before we move on. I think that there's good and bad to that being a man and what a man is, because it defined responsibilities of what a man is. Even though some of them were maybe made up or focused around like John Wayne and stuff like that. And for us, like Shaft and stuff like that. But it also sort of held us a little bit together, because we weren't going and we would have moments, right? But we still kept going. I mean, we may have been going at a lesser pace or lesser effectiveness, but
Yeah, and I'll say this, because you'll relate to this, and folks out there relate to this. Anybody that's been part of an athletic team or done any athletics or any of those things like that, where they tell you to tough through it, tough through it, suck it up. Yeah. It's not so I think once you get away from me, I'm not a professional athlete or anything, but once you get past that, and you start, working your normal, whatever, 5 to 9 job or whatever,
9 to 5.
Oh,
dang, boy.
if you're a nurse, you work 5 to 9, 9 to 5. It don't matter. You working all the time.
Oh, my bad.
So we were working the night shift. So that's what it was.
Gotcha.
So you, what was I saying? Oh, so
Athlete.
yeah. So you, and in your regular life, you take some of those tendencies and things that you learn there to
Succeed.
get through your daily, because
Right.
it was like, oh, I was good and I made it through, and I was able to persevere and succeed and excel by putting those things to the side,
So this
and
must be the
burying
formula.
it. So this is what I can do with this now in
right.
order to succeed in this life thing. So
Right.
yeah. So what helped you break the trend that makes Black men about 50% less likely to seek therapy for mental health? That's 50%. That's crazy.
So when I was coming up with this subject, I'd always heard, and I've always, through my life experience, right, as a Black man, I knew that there was a difference. But to hear that it's like 25 to 26% of Black Americans seek therapy.
That's it.
Yeah. So there's 75% of the people out there who are going through this tough life that we live and not even considering or not reaching out for therapy. That threw me off. And then compare that to white people, they're at 40+%. Now those are facts, and to know that there's that much of a difference, it confirmed what I've always believed, is that it's cultural, man. That it's a native thing, and I'm talking about all the way to Africa, because I know Africans, especially men, and the bravado that they put on, and the conversations I've had, because I was deployed to Africa for 6 months. I've built relationships with. I had a driver, and we had a couple of vendors we dealt with, and it was all about basically being a man, being dominant. And so I related to that, because that's how we feel. Black Americans, that's how we feel. So I feel that there's a connection there, but also I feel that for there to be such a disconnect there, and we talked about the slavery part of it, which we all hopefully can agree is horrible and culture changing, right? Because it wasn't just a week or so. It's 400 years. But to know that today, where we have access to everything, to still have such a divide, that threw me off. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, if it wasn't for the military, I'd be in a stat. I don't know that I'd be any different about mental health, because if it changed in the military while I was there. And so, when the military changes, you have to be compliant, right? Of course, you still have to open the door to it, right? I mean, for it to be effective for yourself, yeah. But I stand on it and say that if I hadn't joined the military, I wouldn't have acknowledged my mental issues. I would have just sucked it up and kept going, or just take it, be a man and move forward. Or worse, it would have kept piling on, and I could have had a breakdown or something. So
laid hands on somebody.
That was always an option for me. So, but what about you? What made you?
Just wanting to take. I got to the point where I started thinking of, and I'm 50-year-old man, by this time, and it's just like, man, I need to start taking care of myself, because I was in a job, was having a bunch of stress going on. Knew I had some because I had been talking to somebody, so I knew I had some anxiety things going on, and it was just like, man, I need to stop.
Missing,
I need to take care of this. There's nothing wrong with taking care of myself, and then finding out about
realizing that taking care of yourself
is taking care of my taking care of my family and everything like that. So and then it was knowing that had family members that either had to go through having a mental illness, or having had a spouse or someone that was married to someone that had a mental illness, and seeing what they had straight bipolar, the bipolar type stuff, where they're supposed to take medicine and things. So seeing them have to go through those things, and then just knowing that mine is not. I'm not there. Yeah, mine is something that it can be. It can be treated. Managed. It can be managed to a point where I can be happy, successful, and not an asshole to the people around me.
Especially you don't need to be.
Just coming to that realization, and then knowing also that, okay, this is not a career ender. It's not going to keep me from retiring. I'm not getting put out. I'm not, and knowing that it is something good that you can get out of. And then like I said, it helped me to feel like I was helping others, to not be afraid to go seek help.
So let me ask you a question. When you made the conscious decision to do it and actually commit to it, meaning give yourself to it, you sort of mentioned it, but what actually made you do it? Like, if you were to just say, bottom line, what made you do it? What made you finally take this step?
Wanting to take care of myself.
Was it retirement?
It was. Yeah. It was part. It was retirement, and knowing that, because it was retirement and knowing that the resources were there, were there in the were easily to get to. I knew that they were there. I know that people that have
successfully,
that have seeked help and used the military system of the mental health thing, and have been. I mean, knowing that it was a good very good product, it was like, I need to utilize this because not knowing what's on the outside, or knowing on the outside that people are, I got an appointment in 6 months. It's things like that where it's like, I need help now, or just things like that where it was like, okay. you better take advantage of this now and not wait till later when it's going to be a hit or miss type of thing. So
the reason I ask, because what made me first take on therapy was marriage counseling.
Okay.
That was the first thing that did it, and that was before I made the decision. And I'm with you. I only went to counseling because of I needed to make sure that I was set up to receive the benefits.
And you need to be documented.
Absolutely. That came with. I knew that I was. I knew that I qualified because I never sought help. And
it's going to be a nice percentage for you.
My wife has told me for years that I'm a little off, right? And that's another term for. And so I knew that if I got it documented, I knew I had to get it documented. And then I knew that if I went and sought that mental health, I knew that there was something there, right? And I'm just trying to be transparent. That's what got me and sold me on it, because as a senior leader, I saw the evolution of the military. Mm-hmm. I just didn't take advantage of it personally. But I know that I tried to make my soldiers and subordinates see that it's a viable option, right? So the change in the Army was, like, for instance, if you admitted you had a drug problem there for a while, then you could go get help, right? And same thing with alcohol. And then it started to become the same thing for mental health, mm-hmm. to where if we caught you, as the Army, I'm speaking as if we caught you, then separation and other and honorable discharge. But if you admitted to it, then you get a chance to be treated and then come out better on the other side. So that was the beginning of the opening of therapy, or the button of therapy. And then, like we've talked before with deployments, when you come off a deployment, in country, they're going to ask you if you're okay, basically, with a couple questions, take some tests, and then and once you get back on home station, you got to go through some processes, and that actually is what evolved as well, because it went from just being a sheet of paper to actually having conversations and having face-to-face moments with a therapist.
Yeah, with a real person, because it's like those. When you're coming off deployment, you're just trying to get home. You're going, yes,
happy to be back in the States.
No.
And out of the full battle rattle.
Mm-hmm.
So the evolution of the mental health button, that it's there to push, I evolved as a leader by telling my soldiers about it, but I didn't take mm-hmm. advantage of it. And there were things that the military, there's different classes that the military would teach you as a leader or present to you as a leader, so that you could help your soldiers and basically be that intermediary.
Yeah, I mean, you were required to do that. I mean, those are things we were required to do. I think that it was heavily pushed on our junior folks, but it wasn't.
No.
It wasn't pushed on or asked of us, because it was
demanded like it was for them.
It was
because they knew that it's a generational thing.
Yeah.
They knew that trying to get an old head who hadn't done it for 20 plus years, not likely going to get them to do it. It's the same thing with the PT test changing. You know what I'm saying? The PT test changing. Yeah, for the people who are athletic and the people who were into that type of fitness, ain't no problem. Let's just do it.
Folks.
But for the people who were fighting and struggling with the 3-part,
you got some arthritis going on and stuff. You're like, I can't hold on to that ball.
They weren't fans of it. And so my point being is there's a couple things I learned. One, I learned that basic leadership and counseling is enough to identify things, but it's not always enough to correct things, right? Mm. So I learned that I was limited on what I could do with somebody how I could help somebody with mental health.
Okay.
Because if somebody's trying to kill themselves, there's only a certain thing that you can do as a leader. There's only so much. Then that's have conversations and then seek help. Just like first aid, right? Your first aid is meant to hold them tight until the real
right
people
folks
can
get
in. And the same thing with mental health. And so I learned that. So by knowing that I was limited on how I could help my soldiers, that's what made me start to refer people or recommend people to go and seek mental health.
Okay.
But it was never something I did myself. And that's the sad part of it, that we didn't start seriously considering it for ourselves until we're 50. You know what I'm saying? And just the little bit that we've had has helped us.
Yep.
Because the steps we've taken to move away from the military, that's huge. And you throw in the people who's been to combat. You throw in the people who's struggling with the loss of soldiers. You throw in the people who've they've been in the military and they want to make it their life, but they get a DUI. Now that's over. That's trauma, and it's perfect for that. But I will say this: therapy helped me. By introducing it to me, it helped me to refer to the younger people, and hopefully it's made them better people. As far as helping me, it confirmed that by referring these people, I was doing the right thing.
Yep.
Instead of trying to tell them take a knee and drink water, thinking that's how they're going to evolve and get better. So, all right, last question. What do you think must change to make it easier for Black men to seek help? Your honest opinion.
Being self-awareness and acceptance.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you keep trying to bury it and you know that something is not right, and then whenever somebody tells you something and you go back and go, hey, look, I need to go talk to somebody, or I am kind of
a little off at this moment.
I am kind of depressed. I am kind of, but you're accepting it. I mean, until you do that, then you'll always be running from it. Yeah. So, and then
or just ignore it.
Yeah, and then just talking about it in the community, community of men, Black men, white men. I mean, just talking about it so that it's not such a taboo thing, I mean, because it's a societal thing. It's not just a problem in the Black community. It's a problem in the Black community because of the 25% or whatever. But it's also a problem in the white community because you got 40%.
That's still 60%.
I mean,
of the people.
So it's a problem. I mean, and I'm sure those numbers are not too different when you look at the Hispanic community. Races, I'm sure that because they're super
right around the corner
machismo.
People,
I mean so it's. I think we have to, as a community of men, be able to talk about it and accept it and know that it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. Nobody's gonna clown you because
But even if they do,
going to talk to somebody,
and that's the hurdle, right? Even if they do clown you, so what? You know what I'm saying? You're doing something to make you and your life, and whatever that scope is. I mean, your family, your kids, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're doing something to make yourself better. Yeah. And if somebody's going to clown you for that, then that's just one you're just going to have to take.
Just leave them behind because you're going to shine. Yeah, you're going to keep shining because you're taking care of yourself, and they'll stay back there. Yeah. And
so, I agree it's taboo. I agree that. So there's a thing going around right now that the male role is being diminished and erased.
And when you talking about the male role, explain.
We're talking about men being dominant. We're talking about men being the leaders of their family. Mm-hmm. We're talking about how men dress. We're talking about the makeup and all that stuff. So the so-called traditional through society definition of a man is being threatened right now. Right. And I think a part of that has to do with the the mental health push. And I think when you're forcing people to be a certain role, you're going to have those people that push back, and then you're going to have those people that push way back, right? And so there's always going to be those, but there's always been those, right? And so I just want to make clear, the reason I brought that up, I just want to make clear that we don't take that so seriously that we forget that evolution has to happen, and we forget that when a man or a woman makes a decision to change and improve themselves, that's their decision, right? And so there shouldn't be a bunch of pushback on that.
Right.
All right. So my thing is, I agree with you that there has to be a mental change, a change that everybody starts thinking as mental health as that button, as an option. That's the first step. But the second step, that's the second step. The first step is you have to make credible and legitimate therapists available. You know what I'm saying? You can't have half, and it's just like teachers, right? You can fill the classroom with teachers. You can make that quota go away, but you won't have a bunch of good teachers, because if your heart's not into it, then your effort's not into it. And it's the same thing for therapy, the same thing for leadership, if your heart's not into it. And so we have to make sure that therapists are available to the poorer communities, to the all black, all white, all Hispanic communities, so that people can see these offices and people can see these people going in there, and they can see these people getting help and getting better, so that you can get rid of the taboo on therapy. I think that those are two major steps, but accessibility, as well as making sure that these therapists that we're putting out, because we're limited, like you said, on nurses, we're limited on the therapists that we need to truly make a difference. But it has to start with putting these therapists in positions and keeping these therapists. So it's going to be a money thing.
Yep.
Keeping these therapists in a specific area for a little time. And it's not that I don't think therapists should seek more money, because there's more money to be made, but I do believe that they need to start the money off so that you can at least deter them, for a few years, so that people can get a little comfort in talking to somebody.
I mean, because that's a lot of times that's all folks need. I mean, they need the tools.
Yes.
I think once you learn the tools, then
the tools are there.
Right.
Yes. Then learn how to use those tools, because, like I said, I would go to your average black neighborhood now, right? And I go back home to where my mother lives and my sister lives. The young kids there, I still don't think that they're thinking about therapy when they feel something off. And when I say kids, I'm talking high school to 25. I still don't think, because there's still that machismo out there, that manliness out there, that you're weak if you can't get through things. And, and you are weak if you can't get through things, which means you need to know how to be able to work through things.
Are they afraid of somebody,
too.
A parent, an uncle, or something, friends that will...
critique them, clown them, laugh at them. So just got to get past that taboo. And it's getting better. I can tell you it's better from when my dad was raised to now me. And now from me to our children.
Kids, Yep. So there are truths we should walk away with today.
Yes.
Sometimes the strongest thing a man can do is say, I'm not okay.
Yeah.
We weren't raised to ask for help, but we can change that by raising the next generation to know it's okay.
Yeah.
It is
to
okay.
not be okay.
Yeah, it's okay not to be okay. Absolutely. Yeah, I know I've introduced that to my kids, especially after my fight with my own demons.
Yeah. And admitting, and I'll go back to what I was saying about being in that car, and I broke down tears. I wasn't ready to say I'm okay to somebody else, but I absolutely was ready to say it to myself.
So,
yeah. And I did make some changes, but if I had gone to therapy, I could have made major changes, and that could have actually helped me. Because remember, at that time, I was 11, 12 years in the military, 10 years in the military. So I still had 20 years of military left that could have changed my whole career. Yeah, my whole approach to the remainder of my career. So, but bottom line is, there is help out there if you feel or you can hear someone tell you that something's off.
Encourage them.
Yeah, encourage them and motivate yourself to go reach out. But once again, I just want to say thank you for joining us for another episode of 4 Titles, 1 Truth. If you're listening and you've been carrying something in silence, this is your sign to talk to somebody. Not next week, not tomorrow, today.
Hey, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and even watch us on YouTube.
Hey, we out here
Please see us at 4 Titles, 1 Truth.
We're dressed in suits every day. You know what I mean?
Leave us a message, a comment, share this episode with someone who needs to hear it, please.
And if you haven't already, rate us and review the podcast.
Please.
It helps us reach more people.
Yeah. And like we always say, y'all, till next time, let's keep the conversation going.
Hey. All right. Holla.
All right. Peace.